How to find clarity on your divine path as one of the chosen. Have you ever felt the weight of knowing you are called for something greater, but struggled to understand exactly what that greater is? If you found yourself searching for answers, longing for direction, or questioning your purpose, know this: clarity is coming. God's chosen ones are not meant to wander aimlessly. There is a divine path prepared for you, and even in moments of uncertainty, God is guiding you toward it. If you can relate, share your experience in the comments. Your reflections might help others searching for their own clarity. The journey to finding clarity on your divine path begins with deepening your connection to God. When you feel lost or unsure, the first and most important step is to seek Him. God holds the answers to the questions in your heart, and He reveals those answers when you draw closer to Him. Prayer, meditation, and reflection become tools that open your spirit to His guidance. In the quiet moments, God speaks. His voice is not always loud or obvious. Sometimes it comes as a whisper in your heart, a sense of peace, or an unexpected idea. The more time you spend with Him, the clearer His voice becomes. You begin to understand that finding clarity is not about striving or forcing. It's about surrendering and listening. Take a moment to reflect. Have you experienced a time when prayer or quiet reflection brought you the answers you were seeking? How did drawing closer to God give you clarity? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your story may inspire someone to deepen their connection with Him. Another key step in finding clarity is letting go of distractions and noise. In today's world, it's easy to become overwhelmed by external voices, opinions of others, societal pressures, or even your own fears and doubts. These distractions cloud your vision and make it difficult to see the path God has laid before you. God often asks us to be still. Psalm 46:10. This stillness is not just about physical quiet. It's about creating space in your life to hear His voice. It means stepping away from activities, relationships, or habits that pull you out of alignment. It may mean turning off the noise of the world so you can focus on what God is saying. When you remove distractions, you create room for clarity. You begin to notice the small signs, messages, and nudges that God has been sending all along. You realize that His guidance was never absent. It was simply being drowned out by the noise around you. Reflect for a moment. Are there distractions in your life that are keeping you from hearing God's voice? What steps can you take to create more stillness and space for His guidance? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your reflections might encourage someone to take the same step. Clarity also comes when you take small steps of faith, even when the path ahead is unclear. Many people wait for the full picture before taking action, but God often reveals His plan one step at a time. He does this to teach us trust, obedience, and patience. When you feel unsure, focus on what you do know. Maybe you don't know the entire path, but you know the next step. Perhaps it's starting a new habit, reaching out to someone, or pursuing a new opportunity. These small steps are acts of faith that show God you trust Him, even when you don't see the full picture. As you move forward, He will continue to reveal the way. Think of it like walking through fog. You may not see the entire road, but as you take one step, the next becomes clear. This is how God works. He asks you to trust Him with the next step, knowing that He has already prepared the way ahead. Reflect on this. Have you ever taken a small step of faith, even when you didn't have all the answers? How did that step lead to greater clarity? Share your story in the comments. Your courage might inspire someone who is afraid to take that first step. Another powerful way to find clarity is by paying attention to the gifts and passions God has given you. Your divine path is uniquely designed for you, and God equips you with the tools, talents, and desires you need to fulfill it. When you feel unsure about your purpose, take time to reflect on the things that bring you joy, fulfillment, and energy. What are the gifts God has placed within you? What activities make you feel alive, inspired, and connected to something greater? These gifts are not random. They are clues to your divine calling. God uses your talents, passions, and even your struggles to guide you toward your purpose. Take a moment to reflect. What are the gifts or passions God has given you? How can you use them to serve others or honor Him? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your gifts might inspire someone else to discover their own. Have you ever felt paralyzed by uncertainty, unsure of where to turn next? Finding clarity on your divine path often requires learning to trust God's timing and overcoming the fears that hold you back. If you've ever struggled to move forward, share your thoughts in the comments. Your story may inspire someone who feels stuck to take their next step in faith. One of the most important lessons on this journey is learning to trust God's perfect timing. As humans, we often want answers right away. We want the plan laid out in front of us, step by step, so we can move forward with certainty. But God's ways are not our ways. His timing is intentional, and His process is designed to prepare you for what He has planned. When you feel like you're waiting, it's easy to believe that nothing is happening. But the truth is, waiting is often where the most growth occurs. In this season, God is strengthening your faith, refining your character, and equipping you for the next step. What feels like delay is actually divine preparation. Think of the story of Joseph in the Bible. Before he became a leader, Joseph endured years of hardship, rejection, and waiting. At the time, it may have felt like God had forgotten him, but in reality, every experience was shaping him for the purpose God had prepared. The waiting was not wasted, it was essential. Reflect for a moment. Have you ever felt frustrated by God's timing, only to later realize that His plan was perfect? How did the waiting season prepare you for what was to come? Share your reflections in the comments. Your story may encourage someone who is struggling to trust God's timing. Another obstacle that often clouds clarity is fear of the unknown. As God begins to reveal your purpose, He may call you to step into unfamiliar territory. This can feel uncomfortable, even terrifying. The fear of failure, rejection, or uncertainty can cause you to hesitate, doubt yourself, or remain stuck in the same place. But fear is not from God. Scripture reminds us, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." 2 Timothy chapter 7. When fear tries to hold you back, remember that God is with you. He does not call you to something without equipping you for it. The steps He asks you to take may feel risky, but they are always covered by His grace. Overcoming fear begins with faith. Instead of focusing on what could go wrong, focus on what God has promised. He has promised to guide you, protect you, and work all things together for your good. Romans 8:28. Each time you choose faith over fear, you move closer to the clarity you are seeking. Take a moment to reflect. Has fear ever stopped you from stepping into something God was calling you to do? How did you overcome it? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your courage may inspire someone else to push past their fears. Finding clarity also requires aligning your life with God's priorities. Many people struggle to find their divine path because they are focused on things that are not aligned with God's plan. Perhaps you are chasing success, approval, or comfort, but deep down, you feel disconnected and unfulfilled. This disconnect is often a sign that your life needs realignment. When you begin to prioritize God's will over your own desires, clarity follows. You start to ask different questions. How can I serve God with my gifts? What would bring Him glory? How can I honor Him in my choices? These questions shift your focus from worldly pursuits to eternal purpose. This alignment may require you to make changes in your life. It may mean walking away from certain habits, relationships, or commitments that no longer align with God's plan. It may mean saying yes to things that stretch you, challenge you, or take you out of your comfort zone. But as you align your priorities with God's, you will feel a deeper sense of peace, purpose, and clarity. Reflect for a moment. Are there areas of your life that feel out of alignment with God's will? What changes can you make to prioritize Him more fully? Share your reflections in the comments. Your journey may encourage someone else to realign their focus. Another step toward clarity is embracing the lessons in your struggles. God often uses challenges, setbacks, and hardships to guide you toward your purpose. These moments, though painful, are filled with wisdom, growth, and transformation. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" begin to ask, "What is God teaching me through this?" Your struggles are not random. They are part of God's plan to shape you into the person you need to be. Each challenge prepares you for the work He has called you to do. Every tear, every lesson, and every battle equips you with the strength, compassion, and resilience to walk your divine path with confidence. Take a moment to reflect. Have you ever gone through a struggle that revealed something important about yourself or your purpose? How did that hardship lead you closer to clarity? Share your story in the comments. Your testimony may encourage someone to see their struggles as part of God's plan. Lastly, finding clarity requires patience and persistence. Your divine path is not something you discover overnight. It unfolds gradually as you walk in faith. Each day, each choice, and each step brings you closer to the clarity you are seeking. The key is to remain persistent, even when the path feels unclear. When you feel tempted to give up, remember that God is faithful. He will complete the good work He has begun in you. Philippians chapter 1:6. Keep seeking Him, keep trusting Him, and keep moving forward in faith. The clarity you desire is already on its way, and God will reveal it to you at the perfect time. Have you ever reached a point where the fog begins to lift, and the pieces of your journey finally start making sense? That moment of clarity, when you realize God has been guiding you all along, is both humbling and empowering. It reminds you that the struggles, the waiting, and the uncertainty were all part of His perfect plan. Share your thoughts in the comments. Have you had a moment of clarity that reaffirmed your faith and purpose? One of the most crucial steps to finding clarity is taking action in faith. Clarity doesn't always come before action. It often comes through as action. Many people hesitate to move forward because they don't have all the answers. But God rarely reveals the full picture at once. Instead, He asks you to take one step, and as you do, the path becomes clearer. Taking action is a demonstration of trust. It says, "God, I may not know where this leads, but I trust you to guide me." This step could be as simple as starting a new habit, pursuing a passion that's been on your heart, or reaching out to someone for support. Small, consistent steps will bring momentum to your journey and reveal the direction you are meant to go. Think of the story of Peter walking on water. Jesus called Peter out of the boat, but it wasn't until Peter took that first step of faith that he experienced the miracle. The same is true for you. Your breakthrough, your clarity, and your purpose are waiting on the other side of obedience. Take a moment to reflect. What step of faith is God asking you to take right now? How can you move forward, even if you don't have all the answers? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your courage might inspire someone else to take action. Another key to finding clarity is embracing the gifts and talents God has given you. You were created with unique strengths, passions, and abilities for a reason. These gifts are clues to your divine path, tools God has placed within you to fulfill your purpose. When you use your gifts to serve others and glorify God, you will feel a deep sense of alignment and joy. This is because you are living in harmony with how God designed you. Whether it's teaching, creating, leading, encouraging, or helping others, your gifts are meant to make a difference in the world. Sometimes, fear or doubt can cause you to hide your gifts. You might wonder, am I really good enough? Can I make a difference? But remember this, God does not call the qualified. He qualifies the called. He has equipped you for the work He has given you, and He will continue to strengthen you as you step into your purpose. Reflect on this. What are the gifts, talents, or passions that God has placed in your heart? How can you use them to make an impact? Share your reflections in the comments. Your journey might inspire someone to embrace their own gifts. Finding clarity on your divine path also requires surrounding yourself with the right people. God often uses others to confirm, encourage, and guide us on our journey. The people you surround yourself with can either lift you up or hold you back. So it's important to seek relationships that align with God's plan for your life. Look for mentors, friends, and spiritual leaders who encourage you to grow in your faith and pursue your purpose. Surround yourself with people who speak life into you, who believe in your calling, and who remind you of God's promises when you feel unsure. These relationships are a gift from God, and they will help you find clarity when the path feels unclear. Take a moment to reflect. Do you have people in your life who encourage you and help you grow closer to God's purpose? How have these relationships impacted your journey? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your experience may inspire someone to seek out their own support system. Another way to embrace clarity is by reflecting on the lessons God has already taught you. Sometimes, the answers you're looking for can be found in your past. Look back on the moments when God showed up, when He provided, or when He guided you through a difficult time. These experiences are reminders that He is faithful and that He will continue to lead you. Your past victories, struggles, and lessons are part of your story. They have prepared you for what's next and shaped you into the person you are today. By reflecting on where you've been, you gain clarity about where God is leading you. Reflect for a moment. What lessons has God taught you through your experiences? How have those lessons shaped your understanding of your purpose? Share your reflections in the comments. Your testimony may help someone recognize the wisdom in their own journey. Finally, finding clarity means walking boldly in faith. Even when the path ahead is uncertain, you may not have all the answers, but you have everything you need: God's guidance, His promises, and His presence. Trust that He is with you every step of the way. Walking boldly does not mean you won't feel fear or doubt. It means choosing to move forward despite those feelings, knowing that God is in control. It means trusting that every step, no matter how small, is bringing you closer to the life He has called you to live. When you walk in faith, you begin to see how God's plan unfolds. You start to notice doors opening, relationships blossoming, and opportunities aligning perfectly with your gifts and purpose. You realize that the clarity you were seeking was always within reach. It was waiting for you to trust God and take the next step. Take a moment to reflect. What would it look like for you to walk boldly in faith right now? What fears or doubts do you need to surrender to God? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your courage may inspire someone else to trust God's plan for their life. Finding clarity on your divine path is not a one-time event. It is a journey of faith, trust, and transformation. It requires drawing closer to God, stepping out in faith, and using the gifts He has given you to make a difference. Clarity does not come from striving. It comes from surrendering. It comes from trusting God, taking small steps of obedience, and allowing Him to guide you one step at a time. You may not always see the full picture, but you can trust that God is leading you towards something greater. You are chosen for a purpose. Your path is unique, and God has prepared it just for you. Keep walking in faith, keep seeking His guidance, and know that the clarity you desire will continue to unfold as you trust Him. Remember this: you are not lost. You are being guided. You are not alone. You are loved.